I was really exhausted. I was depleted.
Yeah.
I was exhausted. And really, I wanted to commit suicide.
Elzbieta, thank you so much for joining me. And hopefully I didn't just butcher your name, but I wanted to say it the way it's meant to be said from your Polish descent. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your experience in the S.H.I.E.L.D. program and reversing UC over, you've had it for the last 2 years. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it takes courage to pay it forward and share your story. And man, you have a great story. I really love your experience and what's happened to you. But first, can you tell everyone, what were you diagnosed with? How old were you? And what was that like for you when they came in and said, hey, you've got this incurable disease. There's nothing you can do about it?
I was diagnosed in 2023 in November.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up in hospital and I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. I have bleeding blood in the stool. I had mucus. I have 13 bowel movements during the day. I couldn't sleep during the night. I had terrible pain and cramping. I thought that maybe I caught some kind of a bacteria. I will go to the hospital. They will give me some antibiotics or something like this, and then I will return home and return to my life. But no, they told me you have incurable disease. So I tried to find some natural practitioners, and I did. I did 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I met people.
But hold on, Elzbieta. I mean, just to comment on that real quick, you got to a point spiritually, you said, I will heal naturally or I will die. That's a very strong defense of self, defense of self-image and reality. And to have such a fire in you, it's not like, Coach Arman and I, it's been 7, 10, 20 years. You right out the gate, never even heard of this disease. They're telling you you're going to be on medication for the rest of your life. And you're saying, I will die before I will take medication for the rest of my life. That is such a powerful statement over protecting your image and your sense of health and your sense of truth. I just wanted to take a moment on that because that's powerful.
I was on Mesalizine when I left the hospital.
Yeah.
And also I took steroids.
Yeah.
And I read all information about this, about these all side effects. I said to myself, I don't know what's going on with my body now. When I add all these things, medication, then I will never know what is me, what is the side effects, and what is the disease.
Yeah.
So all this mess, I said, no, I just don't want this.
Yeah, you were willing to deal with the symptoms, but not to mask them and be lost in the smoke of what is real.
Yes.
And everyone out there listening, we all have the right to decide our truth and perspective. I think that's a good point in your story is I had a very similar just empowerment that I wanted to choose. I didn't see myself as a sick person. I did believe there was a deeper why. And, I didn't want to villainize medications. I don't think you do either. I wanted to actually get to the root issue. I think that's a big point of, why you started even so quickly after being diagnosed, go right into natural medicine. And what I love about your story is you immediately started hiring naturopathic doctors, going on restrictive diets, doing the most really high level advanced type of healing protocol very quickly. You were on the carnivore diet for 6 months straight, only eating meat because you had read so many great things. And there's a lot of good clinical on the carnivore diet, right? There's a lot of good stuff for that to really help reset the microbiome and help with candida and inflammation, all these things. And then you've been taking, when you came in, you were already taking some high level supplements and herbs that naturopath doctors had given you. Yeah. Tell me about that experience. I mean, you had worked with 2 or 3 naturopath doctors. You were on the strictest diet and it still wasn't working. I mean, walk me through that experience.
I met a few people here and I asked them, what was your doctor? I made an appointment and the doctor said, take this, avoid this, don't eat this. So, I am a very loyal patient, let's say. And when I do something, I really want to do it just as much as I can.
As quickly as possible. They gave you something and you ran with it and did it as well as it could be done. Right?
Exactly.
I'm gonna do full carnivore. I'm going to take, 30 caps a day of anything that could potentially help me and not be of risk. And
I started to buy supplements, digestive enzymes.
And you were taking vitamin D, you were taking, I think, curcumin, taking NAC, you're taking a lot of good stuff. You're taking fermenting herbs, omega-3s. You know,
Yeah.
when you came in, we could say, okay, this person has put a lot of work into trying some functional medicine. But the interesting thing is, you know, years of this strict carnivore, and look, I've seen people get massive results with carnivore. What we're here saying is every plan has to be customized and there is no one size fits all. Okay. And so that's, I think you're a perfect example of that. After all of that work, you were still having 6, 8, 9 bowel movements a day.
Yes, even 13, you know, and 8 in the night. I couldn't sleep. I don't
13 bowel
know.
movements, multiple at night, blood, mucus, and urgency. After all that, you're still getting blood, mucus, and urgency. You're still getting bloating,
Yes.
cramping, pain. You're getting gas, and you know you're eating so strict. You're getting joint pain. You're getting hair loss. You're getting brain fog. You know, you're having, you know, you can't think. I mean, what made you believe this could actually work? Because that was my experience, Elzbieta, for like 4 years. And after a few months, I was like, this is a scam. What gave you that?
You know, it was terrible. When I was on carnivore, they told me that you have to stay for a while,
Yeah.
not less than 3 months.
Yes.
And you know, I didn't see any changes after 3 months, and they say, no, it's too short. You have to do it longer.
Yeah.
And I did, because you know,
6 months.
I gathered the knowledge everywhere. I mean, in English internet, on YouTube channel,
Yeah.
everywhere I could, because I knew that here in Poland, I won't find anything. Sorry
Yeah.
that I'm saying this, but it's true.
There are many countries who just, they don't have the functional medicine advice and, you know, training and stuff. And we've seen that in other countries. And so I hear what you're saying. It's hard to get the information sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I believed it, because I know that when you believe in something, then it happened, you know. And I was struggling all the time. I was battling with myself, with my emotions. And when I met you, I was really exhausted. I was depleted.
Yeah.
I was exhausted. And really, I wanted to commit suicide. I felt like I am weak point of my family.
Yeah.
I'm still in the bathroom. I was wearing diaper panties, 46 or 47. But it's not the age to die and to live like this.
Yeah, you were exhausted at this point. You know,
Yes.
you had tried, you had worked, you're still in the bathroom 10 times a day. Things are getting better. Carnivore is so great for so many reasons, but it's not working. These supplements, they seem so great, and you know they're helping other people because you're listening to the people, watching the comments, coming to the lives, going around and saying, this is helping other people, but it can't help me. Why is it not helping me? Why am I the sick one? What have I done wrong? Why is my body so weak? Why can't? And so we start to lose faith in ourselves after a while, because maybe it's not the diet, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not sick. Maybe I'm just too hard. And I remember you were saying earlier, when you came to one of my live trainings and you started listening, there was just so much doubt and fear and worry. And then I think the thing that you held on to most is like, you've got to believe it to see it. Like, without belief, you can't get there, and you have to continue to reinvest in your plan, not the generic plan, not the perfect plan out there, but your plan. You got to meet your body where it is, and you have to play the chess match of your body and your life to get success.
When I first saw you, I said, no, it's impossible. This guy is too handsome. He couldn't have this, you know, Crohn and
oh yeah, that's me, guys. That's me. I was 122 pounds, straight out of a war camp, long hair, beard. I was housebound for a year. I could not walk for about 3 months.
I think that your case was much more severe than mine, and you suffered longer than I. Maybe there's a little chance for me, you know, at the beginning it was a little chance for me.
Maybe this guy, because I was the first person you had worked with who had this, and Coach Arman was extremely sick with ulcerative colitis. It's like, wait, I've never worked with specialists and practitioners who've had IBD, beat IBD, and they specialize in IBD, and they've seen hundreds.
Yes.
Elzbieta, and everyone listening to Elzbieta's story, we've seen Elzbieta's case. We've seen this. Has a lot of experience, willing to do diets. It's not working. I'll even go over some of my thoughts here soon at the end of this testimony of why I think we got such great results. I know Coach Arman will do the same, of why we got results with symptoms. You've been in the program now only about 6 months. Okay.
Yeah, I think of May. I went first time abroad. I asked my coach Arman, can I go abroad for a whole weekend? He said,
yeah.
yes,
Can
you
travel?
work so hard. You deserve it. My husband for Montenegro, it's Balkanian country, a boat trip with no toilet at all.
That's when you know you're bold. I'm on a boat. There is no toilet on the boat.
Yeah, but it's going up and down,
on the
up and
train.
down.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So you really tested it and you did great.
Yes, I was so happy. It was like that my body can heal myself. Just healthy person.
A mother, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now I say, stay, there is a place. You really believe me. It's not just because of this program we are talking right now. It's amazing because it offers so much. We are being in the toilet or near the toilet for the rest of your life. And the doctors say, yes, this is your life now. We will and go home because you will get cancer.
Yeah. And honestly, everyone, the reason why I've worked so hard to take the road less traveled to build something really unique for the world of IBD, because I was that sick person. I had nowhere to go. And I just simply built what I needed. Just 10, 15 years later, just the things that I always needed myself. And for Elzbieta to get these kind of results, it just warms my heart, because this is what I was thinking 10 years ago. And this is, I couldn't do it 10 years. It's just one brick at a time, guys. You rebuild your body one brick at a time. You rebuild the passion of business you want to build one brick at a time. You change reality one brick at a time. And I remember when Coach Arman was in a similar state of doubt and worry and fear as a young man, and is out of uni yet, and my life is pretty much, I can't even go anywhere. I can't even how am I going to date? How am I going to travel? His goal was to be able to travel to 22 countries. So when you asked him if you could travel, he was like, yeah, you could travel with the 22 countries. I have to work in the S.H.I.E.L.D program myself. So that moment today you're having right now. Perfect. Yeah. 2, sometimes 3, perfect. You got rid of the blood, mucus, urgency, no bloating, cramping, pain, got rid of all that?
No. Full level of energy, I can gardening, I can ride the bike.
Bathroom, you can eat.
No, I'm not.
Joint pain, almost gone. I mean, joint pain's somewhat associated with Crohn's and colitis, but how's that joint pain doing?
Hard in the garden. I feel some joint pain, but joint pain.
As most of us, as we start to get older in life, might feel something, but we're not seeing, joint pain connected to IBD. Energy's great. Here's what's also amazing about your situation. You did all this medication free in Poland.
I said to my doctor that I don't want to take this Mesalizine. It's my life and I don't want to take it. And she said, not here, no in Poland.
Don't let anyone tell you what your reality has to be out there. I'm going to just set a stage for everyone listening right now. These are our lives. This is our identity. And we don't have to be stamped on the forehead as a chronically sick person. We can choose not to accept it, as Elzbieta did not accept, as Coach Arman did not accept, or and I did not accept. That's amazing. Beautiful. You got rid of all these symptoms. We did it without medication. You did it in Poland with Coach Arman, who's in Spain, London, going back and forth. And you did this, would you say, eating a more broad nutrition plan than you were beforehand? Only on the carnivore diet when you started. Now, can you eat a variety of foods? So you can have salad. So you can have fiber, different plants. You can have meats. Yeah. And here's what's interesting, guys. Because we started to fix and optimize her gut, she can now break down and absorb and utilize that meat better than she did when she was only carnivore. Very valuable in a lot of ways, but if you have poor digestion, if you have poor microbiome, if you have poor liver function, poor bile production, your body's not going to process that meat very well. And you can get chronic diarrhea, and all of a sudden you're more gassy, you're more bloated, you're more crampy, you're having more bowel movements because you can't properly evacuate the colon. Because carnivore can help in a lot of ways of helping to rebalance the microbiome, potentially help with leaky gut. But there are some core issues with IBD that sometimes carnivore needs some help with, right? That it can't solve on its own. And that's what we did. So now you could actually argue the point that she can handle carnivore better, and she doesn't have to be carnivore, and she's getting better bowel movements, eating 10 times the amount of food she was before the program. So if you're out there fearful that you're going to have to live on this restrictive diet for the rest of your life, in 6 months, Elzbieta went from strict carnivore for half a year to eating 10 times the amount of food and got rid of 95% of her symptoms. Said she 10x the food amount, variety, and then got a 95% symptom relief with no medications on the different side of the world, the United States. God is good. She naturopath doctors before she walked in our door, December 2024. No way. This guy's scamming people. He's lying. That shirt's too expensive he's wearing. What do you think are some key points that made her successful?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything you said really rings true. I think definitely the fact that all the supplements she was taking, I think, were great, all healthy supplements for a variety of different reasons. But it's not just the supplements; it's also the stage and the time in which we use those supplements, right? And how do we leverage off those tools?
Mm-hmm.
And I think things online, you can throw so many darts at it, but I think the stages and the journey is imperative. And that's what we did. We went through the phases. We were defensive first. We build that up. We build the army. Then we go on the attack. We go on detox. We go on drainage. But you got to take that funnel approach. And I think that's what we shifted. We actually used a lot of the things she was using, but we changed the order. We shifted the system. We worked on food. We reintroduced certain foods bit by bit. But it's not that those things are bad. They're all healthy. But it's just, is it ready for you at that time you're in? And it's just about systemizing that, right? And we did that.
And a few key points to go a different layer, guys. We made the food more bioavailable. She was, with IBD, she was having a hard time breaking down and utilizing all that.
Yep.
And two, when you have all meat and no fibers, a lot of times your drainage pathways are so clogged up. She was absolutely clogged. We had to support, okay? And we had to work up her tolerance and ability to handle fiber and prebiotics and things like that. And so there are stages to that. And just like physical therapy, just because something's good for you doesn't mean it's good at that moment or time. So knowing what the purpose of something is and how to use it at the right dose in conjunction with the right therapies can make all the difference. Elzbieta, how quickly in the program did you start to see results?
With Dr. Thomas in Broad.
Dr. Thomas University, guys, I'm going to put a link there below. She was able to come in, meet the community, try out our IBD starter pack. I'm going to put a link to the IBD starter pack. Elzbieta, if you could mention that, the IBD starter pack. And then she started out with IBD University, paid $97. And then she got to see about our community and all that and said, I'm going straight into the S.H.I.E.L.D program. This is amazing. But tell us a little bit about that, Elzbieta.
Thomas told me how should I take the supplements. You know, my diarrhea changed into loose stools. I'm training with you at the end of December. And on the 2nd of January, I had my first session with Coach Arman.
Yes.
And I think that after a month, I started to sleep whole night, any tiredness.
Mitochondria energy restored, bioavailable nutrients, and you could be on the perfect diet. If your body can't absorb it and utilize it, it's not perfect. That's a big Elzbieta, let me just what you just said so everyone can understand this. Elzbieta came in through just the IBD University. Okay, I'm going to put a link below. When she came into that, which is a lot more, it's our cost-effective way just to get introduced to our program, our community. You can see behind the curtains and see if this is real. Okay, there's a link below on that. With it, we'll give you a $100 gift card. We built a starter pack that gives you 3 supplements for $100. That's basically for free. Okay, so you come in, you get this for free. So she bought the IBD starter pack. I'm going to put a link for that below. Okay. So then it also comes with a 30-minute session to get introduced to us and who we are and give you some trainings to go through in IBD University, which she was talking about. Yeah. Just doing that would almost cost almost nothing. She was able to eliminate her blood in 3 days using the IBD starter pack. And she says her bowel movements went from complete diarrhea to a little bit more formed within 10 days. Then she came to a training with me and then decided to go into the full S.H.I.E.L.D program where she started working with Coach Arman. Within the first 2 weeks, she saw massive benefits in her sleep. Within the first month, she was able to get pretty much most 80% of her symptoms stabilized. Is that correct, Elzbieta?
Yes, it is. Yes. And after 4 months, I could go abroad.
And you had been hiring and spending thousands on thousands on thousands for 2.5 years before that process. $100 and you got some drive-through of healing. I cannot promise that I've hacked life forever for every single person. It's hard work. You have to customize your approach. Yes. You need a one-on-one coach. You need to work hard to get in there. But I have built systems to make it as effective, cost-effective, as effective in your life, as impactful as humanly possible. I'm going to put a link to everything we just talked about right below here. And if you still are uncertain or whatever, I'm going to put a link where you can just book a free IBD session with one of our IBD sports specialists, which is what Elzbieta also did. I've done all of this and gotten to where you are today without a private coach, like working with Coach Arman. How important was he to your success and empowerment and getting to where you are now? Any last words of hope and encouragement for anyone out there relating with you? And maybe you could say it in your mother tongue of Polish, because we love people to speak with their mother tongue and their roots.
A kochani, gorąco polecam, jeśli chcesz znowu cieszyć się życiem i osiągnąć zdrowie, za którym tak tęsknisz, naprawdę polecam S.H.I.E.L.D program. To nie jest jakiś trik, to nie jest coś, co was, nie wiem, okradnie z waszych pieniędzy. Naprawdę znajdziecie tutaj pomoc, znajdziecie tutaj wszystko to, co jest wam potrzebne do zdrowia. Uwierzcie, nie zwlekajcie, zainwestujcie w swoje zdrowie.